Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and yes, it's Tuesday, and it's time for another Top 3. Now, last week I asked the question, what are your top 3 biggest fears? Got some responses here. First up, Ghostface Kid, 101 hit me up. At number 3, the ocean. Now, he wanted to specify not necessarily the water itself, but what's in the ocean. Hey, I can respect that, absolutely. I don't fuck around with the ocean. I'm actually okay with the ocean. I don't want to go too far out there though. Like, I know like shit can come up and get you, but I still feel safer in like, hip, length water. I don't want to go out there where the tide take you out and then fucking open water shit happens to you. Number 2, heights. Heights is one of those things weird for me. I'm okay with heights until whatever structure I'm on is being fucked with. Like, for a while there, it was weird because the factory I work at, they are doing this internal, they did this big internal move, like they just shifting everything around inside the factory. So me and my uncle, we stayed over and helped them, with it and everything. And so we're on the scissor lift together, and we're going way up there, high up there, top of the fucking factory. And I don't know, we'll say 30 to 50 feet, give or take. And it's like, we're taking down this like, tin wall kind of thing. And so he's unscrewing one side and he holds it and I'll unscrew the other side and I'll hold it. And what happens is he goes to move and the whole thing shakes. Now when it shakes, once again I'm up there. I'm hanging over the thing, doing everything else. I just look down and now I'm just like envisioning any like Final Destination type scenario where like something's gonna slip that, I'm gonna fall. Basically, every scenario ends with me going face first into the concrete. And yeah, and literally, I just like, you know what? I want to get the fuck down. Now I don't say this because I don't want to be a pussy in front of my uncle, but in my mind, I'm screaming. I just want to get down. And when I get down, I'm okay. And then we got back up later on, and I was okay. But it seems like as soon as like something like that would happen, I don't like it. I used to work in theater, and we used to. You guys are probably, you guys know, like, if you got a big lobby, like, really tall ceilings or whatnot, you could, you get giant banners and shit. So we put in the Click banner up, Adam Sandler's big ass fucking head in our lobby. Anyway, so I'm up there. I'm the only one that was like, going to go up there, and I was good. I got, and of course the ladder wasn't even properly whatever, but I'm up there, I'm doing it, and then I go to the other side, and I just got a little overconfident, and when I went over, the ladder kind of did a little tilt thing. Now I quickly went back and got it back, but then I looked down and I'm like, nope, too high up, going back down. And literally I was like, fuck it, Adam Sandler, you're fucked right now. So maybe one of the other kids get up there and do it. So, but yeah, so heights is one thing I completely understand. And it's number 1. He said the future. He says present sucks, so he's definitely scared of the future. You guys are probably hearing the sizzling. That's my supper being cooked. Thank you, sweetie. Mwah. So, yeah, there's a weird noise in the background. It's not a fan. It's just sizzling of some hamburgers. So, thank you, Ghostface Kid. Appreciate it. Lori Holt threw up there. Number 3, water. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that. Number 2, being alone. I can see that. And here's the weird thing about that one. Before my lovely girlfriend Maya moved in, I assumed I would just always be, so I kind of made that point in my life where I'm just like, I'm not changing for anybody. Like, I'm just not. Like, I am not going to change who I am. So I was like, I'm probably going to be alone from here on out. And it's one of those things where you can make peace with it, but it's still kind of scary. Not really scary, I guess it's more depressing though, because you're just like, yeah, you got no one to come home to and bitch about your day to. No one to go to the movies with, because I was that creepy guy who just went to the movies by himself, and if it was like a teeny bopper horror film, like Unfriended, I'm like that weirder, older guy who's just kind of hanging out, It's not a good sight. Luckily, I found a girl who loves me for me, and has accepted this weirdness that is the Phantom, so it worked out pretty damn good. And number 1, snakes. And that's one thing I don't. My uncles, both of them actually, they were huge on snakes. They always had snakes in the house and whatnot. So whenever I would go visit them, I'd always bust the snakes out and hold them and everything. But I completely understand. I said, I don't. Well, not only did the hamburger sizzle, now we got smoke alarm going off. I guess that means the burgers are done.
Not yet.
anyways, I apologize, but I'm not going to redo the show because fuck it, it's live. The Phantom's live. But yeah, no, I definitely like that. I don't make fun of anybody's fears because my fears are so ridiculous. Let me open this one up right here.
Yeah.
I'll open this one up. 1 second, guys. I'm going to have to open up a window here. You may get a little bit of outside noise, traffic and whatnot. My buddy Simon Terrell hit me up. And he said, I just love how he puts it here. His number 3 is small spiders. Terrified of them. I can vouch for that. I've seen him freak out around a small spider. His number 2, medium spiders. And that makes sense. I mean, absolutely. And then number 1, if you haven't guessed it, is going to be big spiders. I apologize for this smoke alarm right here. We're almost through though. I'll quit trying to milk it. We'll just move right forward. And so thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. Spiders, we get it. Warren Cocking hit us up next. And at number 3, he said the dark. Yeah, when I was I should let everybody know Warren Cocking. He's a young kid, young guy, and so absolutely, when I was a kid, yeah, I was terrified of the dark, for no reason really. But you know, when you're a kid, it's like in the dark, there could be anything. There could be literally anything out there. It's just weird because I remember being at my grandmother's house when I was younger, or she lived she had an apartment, but we'd be out back playing. And at nighttime, you know, the apartment, you know, the complex went all the way down, but you couldn't see all the way down. Like, you know, you see, you know, a little bit, and that was it. And we always dare each other to run down there. And literally, I mean, we always end up doing it, but the whole time, it's like, dude, something's going to pop out. It's always something that doesn't even exist, like some kind of blob creature or some kind of flying, like, pterodactyl, because, you know, pterodactyls are still relevant, right? So, yeah, no, I get that one, my man. I get that one. His number 2 is strangers. Hey, in this day and age, absolutely. I don't trust anybody. And his number 1 was also the future. I didn't think that was going to be a big one there, but hey, I guess it was. So, there you go. So, I want to thank all you guys who participated this week. Hey, it means a lot to me. It really does. So, this week, I decided what was going to be my top 3. And I decided, I'm sorry we haven't done it yet, but let's jump into it. Top 3 final girls. Boom. Everybody knows what a final girl is. Typically in a slasher movie, it's the, you know, after all the friends have been taken out and we get that final cat and mouse game between the killer and the final girl. Boom. Alright, so for me, at number 3, I'm going to say Laurie, played by Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween. Halloween's is one of my favorite slashers, and this kind of goes without saying that when I think of a final girl, she's usually the first one that pops in my mind. Not my favorite, but usually the first one. I'm just like, oh yeah. Lord. My number 2, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this right now. I'm sure this is going to be on Ghostface Kids. I'm just saying, I am almost positive Ghostface Kid will have this one right here. I'm going to say Sydney. Neve Campbell from the Scream trilogy, or quadrilogy now because there's 4 of them in the series. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was in high school when the Scream movies came out, so I mean, I always had this big crush on her or whatnot. She didn't really go on to do much beyond the Scream after that, so, you know, kind of lost that, you know, whatever. But, no, I still think the Final Girls, I mean, to me, she was one of the strong-willed ones, you know? I mean, because, like, Laurie, don't get me wrong, she didn't really become strong until maybe 2-ish? H2O, maybe? She was just more trying to survive, whereas Sydney just decides she's going to fight back. And I always like that in a Final Girl, where they decide, you know, enough's enough, and we're going to come back and, you know, bring the pain. And she did, believe me. So yeah, always a big fan of hers. And my number 1, and this was Sydney, and this one was a toss-up, but along the same lines, I like a very strong final girl. I'm going Nancy Heather Langenkamp from A Nightmare on Elm Street, because I mean she comes back and fucking booby traps her house, and then brings Freddy Krueger's ass into the real world, and then fucks his world up there. So yeah, always dug that. So the windows are open, guys. I'm sorry. Big truck. So I want to know, what are your top 3 final girls? You guys know how to do this by now. You guys can leave the comment down below. It's, you know, it seems to be the main one right there. But of course, everybody, you know, once in a while will throw out the video response, and I would love to hear you guys talk. I just prefer more video responses, not because I'm too lazy to read. That's not it. I just want to actually hear you guys, you know, talk about it. Like, I would love to hear you guys, you know, come at me with, you know, your choices to come at me. I don't know. You guys hear me ramble on up here. It'd be retarded as hell to put all this words into the paragraph. Like it'd be ridiculous and just a lot of fragmented sentences and shit. But no, I prefer being responsible. But hey, if you can't, I understand. The Phantom's not a stickler for it, you know. And of course, my peeps over on Facebook and Twitter. Hey, hit me up over there. Yeah. So, oh, bless you, sweetie. She's sneezing over there. It's adorable. She has the most adorable sneezes. She does like this little. It's cute as hell. She's getting a knife out after me. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up real quick before she stabs my ass. So, top 3 final girls, let me know. And yeah, movie Phantom and